Let me tell you about this one here. This was one that it was when we literally first started doing this. One of the first ways when we started doing this to find deals is what they tell most people is, well, let's try to do some direct mailers. So we did some direct mailers. We sent out a postcard. A gentleman ended up calling us. He was motivated. He was ready to sell. He goes, come see me, see the house now. Can you see it now? And I ended up seeing the house, and we come to find out, by the way, you don't just, if somebody calls you, don't want to go see the house right away. If you're going to be doing that, you're going to be driving over Miami for fun. Yeah, it's great. You have a lead, but pre-qualify the lead first. I didn't pre-qualify the lead.
But I'm going to interrupt you a little bit because you did this with mailers. Like people don't even believe in mailers, and you got somebody actually calling, hey, come take this house like that?
Correct. Yes. Mailers are also expensive, but in this case, it worked. So he ends up calling us, come see the property, and he was motivated. He wanted to get rid of the property. He didn't want it. I think he had just, the prior tenants had moved out. He literally told me, I'm going to do a quick claim deed. Let's go to the bank tomorrow, and I'm just going to sign it over to you. Huh? What's a quick claim deed? Because at that point, we had just started. I didn't know anything. I reached out to him. We reached out to a realtor contact, and he pretty much told us, look, you're going to take on the property as is. You have no idea what's going on. You don't want to do that. At that point in time, this was in Homestead 33032. It was worth about $75K. So I told the gentleman, look, this doesn't work for us. Let's just go our separate ways. I'll keep in touch with you. So we kind of stayed in touch for about a year and a half. I'd call him here and there. Hey, what's going on? How are you? He ended up keeping the property. He rented the property out. Now, fast forward towards about 2018 now, my buddy Miguel, he's driving down south in Homestead. He's just going around the route. With his daughters, he's showing, look, this is what daddy does. And bandit signs. Bandit signs are really good opportunities. If you're consistent with them, you have a system with it, call the bandit sign. You're going to find 10 of them that are absolute garbage, but all it takes is one to pay off for all the other calls you wasted your time. So my buddy calls that bandit sign, and he calls me right back, and he goes, hey, man, hey, Chris, I got a house for you. He gave me the address. He gives me the address, and I recite to him the owner's name. And he goes, are you crazy? You know every property in Dade County. What's wrong with you? And I was like, no, we were working with him previously. So I ended up reaching out to him directly. Say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I see you're looking to sell a property. He goes, yes, that's already sold. What? I see a sign that the property's being offered. No, it's already about to sell, and we're set to close any day now. And I was like, okay. Well, let me go one step back before that. Prior to contacting him, actually, we called the sign directly. My buddy had called the sign directly. And the gentleman, the wholesaler that was selling it, told him, yeah, we have to close in a week. It's almost nearly impossible to close in a week. So at that point, I said, well, let me go directly to the seller. Seller said, no, I'm ready to go. Everything's ready to go. I want to do the right thing, and I want to do right by the wholesaler. Keep on calling the wholesaler. Hey, what's going on? I'm interested. I want to put an offer. Nope, you have to close in a week. Nope, you have to close in a week. So now let's look at the whole thing here. From the seller's perspective, he's ready to sell his property, but he has this wholesaler that has no idea what the hell he's doing. So at this point, what happens? I told the seller, look, I know this property is about to fall off. He goes, yeah, you're right. It's about to fall off. I don't have anything. Perfect. So I meet up with him again. At this point, now the market shifted. Now, all of a sudden, the comps have changed. This looks a little bit more interesting now. All right, let's do it. So after, again, let's go one step back, actually. He added up 2 properties. So he had a duplex that we ended up wholesaling that was a relatively straightforward transaction. He wanted to get rid of that one. And then he had the other one we ended up doing a fix and flip. He would tell us, when we got the property in the contract, we ran title. So after about 10 to 15 visits from West Kendall to North Miami, this gentleman loved calling me in rush hour. He loved calling me in the middle of 2 o'clock. Hey, Chris, I need to see you right now. And guess what? I did it. I went. And I hate traffic, but whatever. So I'd go visit him about 10 to 15 times. Eventually ended up to get him to agree to sign over the single family home, which the story first began in 3 or 4 years ago.
To sign the contract.
To sign the contract. So now good. Finally, yes, we got this property under contract. Let's go. When we run title.
Yeah, and that's actually an issue. We knew about this back even in the quit claim deed days, where he wanted to do that because the title was not clean. There was a second mortgage in there from
Franklin Financial. Google it.
A lender that no longer existed. Good luck getting a satisfaction. Looking at it logically, it did look like there was an error in that chain, but it doesn't matter.
Well,
that was an issue we had to fix.
And he was always pushing. This has been clear. Franklin Financial was sued for predatory lending towards minorities,
Which was true. We looked it up.
Which was true. We looked it up. We verified it. But Mr. Sir, can you provide us some documentation? I don't have anything. So we found.
Well, and this is where life in general, it's about your connections, your network, and who you know. So we have someone that's a badass. She's creative. And we brought this file to her because this file was not able to be closed on other title companies that we tried. And I go, look, logically speaking, we believe the seller's right. And she agreed to go. She goes, yeah, what you're saying makes sense because, there was another mortgage that came after it. That mortgage was not going to take on that position without clearing this out. So she began to do her work. She researched it, learned who to call, who to contact, who to email. And then that party, the loan had already been sold because Franklin Financial no longer existed.
Yeah.
Said, you know what? Yeah. Emailed us the satisfaction, and there we go.
And we're good to go.
So something that didn't look like a good deal. Well, first of all, it happened to me though, but you had a deal from 3 years prior that you turned down. The deal came back, and then you were right in turning it down because there was an issue.
There was issues.
But timing, because 3 years before, maybe you wouldn't have known how to resolve that.
No, we would not have known.
No. We had no idea. We had no idea what to do. We would have just turned it away.
The second time and you did it, you built up more information, who to go, who to find. Maybe not who has the answers, but who can find the answers. That's a team. That's amazing.
Yeah. And now one other nugget we'll add to this to make this actually 2 nuggets we'll add to this. So we'll give you the whole idea of what it is to be a real estate investor, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as difficult as those 2 properties were, well, the duplex wasn't so much. The single family home was extremely difficult. We ended up doing those 2 with him because we had sold that flip. My buddy Miguelito had recognized the address. So he's doing some cold calling. He goes through a script. He sees that same street. He calls that person. On the first try they pick up, on the first try they give us appointment, on the first try they accept the contract.
Jesus.
Now that never happens.
We did 2 homes on the same block.
But now we're going to get the story even better. This is where we'll say we dropped the ball. On that same block was another empty property that we tried to follow up. We were not diligent on, and somebody else ended up flipping it because we didn't do the right follow-up.
Follow up. Well, I'll give you the reverse. So number one is I had a property that I turned down. It was brought to me by somebody, and I said, you know what? I'm not doing it. I hate condos. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I think a year went by. Nothing happened. They brought the deal back, and I said, look, man, we talked about this earlier. Sometimes I buy something just not to make money. I think people don't know this. Your competitors sometimes are people that need to buy a property. It's not somebody that's, I want to make 50, 100, 20K. You wonder how sometimes a property gets sold and you're like, bro, I would never buy that house unless I'm making 50K on it, but somebody bought it at cost. Why? So this was the case where I'm like, look, I need to buy something for the end of the year for tax reasons. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I need to find another property before the end of the year. I just don't want to lose money. Like I'll break even, but I don't want to lose money, right? So then what I did was the second time around, I took the offer. I said, look, I'm going to offer 20K under what you're saying because I'm just not comfortable with it. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, whatever. I don't care because I don't want to do it. Turned to a really, really profitable. Like the deal doubled. It was really good. Second part was I had a property I flipped in Kendall Lakes. And because I flipped that house, a wholesaler reached out to me about another house on the other corner. He said, hey, I saw you just flipped the house here. And they gave me another deal. And I was like, is this a lie? Like, this is too good to be true. And I'm like, I looked at it. I said, all right, let me go check it out. I said, called my title partners. Hey, guys, can you check this out, please? Tell me what problems it has. I called Pepito, Pedrito, da-da-da. I'm like, hey, help me out, man. This sounds like it just fell on my lap. I was literally home in the kitchen. They called my wife because my wife's the one that she's the one that flips the houses. And my wife's like, look, can you go check this out? And I said, yeah. Amazing deal. Also another very profitable deal. It goes from both perspectives. Obviously, the person did his due diligence, followed up, found an investor, and sold me the house. For me, I had to do my due diligence. I had to have a team. You guys have a team. I mean, we're part of each other's team also in how to get a deal done or who can I ask a question. I know sometimes you ask me questions and you're like, hey, look, man, I'm having this situation. How can I overcome it? I'm like, do this. So I think building that team versus coming with no experience is key. You mentioned something earlier where, like, just be ready for whatever. You were saying, like, look, man, and when you're coming into flipping houses, just be ready for everything. Be ready for battle. Like, there's no way that you're going to go into a house and expect for it to be perfect, because even the most perfect, clean deals have a little something. Yes, is it easier to overcome? But they all have something.
Like, I think a really good way to look at it is, it's going to be a little bit corny, but it's really a video game. It's a video game, but unfortunately, you just can't turn it off. If you turn it off, you literally, you give up. So get ready for, you finish this level, now you have this boss. Well, it might take you a couple of times to finish that boss, but when you figure it out, you're going to go on to the next level. And because you figured out the boss in the prior level, you're going to be stronger for the next level. So get ready for that.
And that's just finding the deal, fixing the deal, and then selling it. But what about dealing with the financing for the buyer? You know, that's a whole another story.
Yeah, imagine you've worked hard to find the deal. You worked hard to do the fix and flip. You managed it. Everything's great. You found the buyer, and then his financing falls through. What happens there?
Yeah. So I think that's our partnership too, you know, because you always call me, hey, this happened. Or right now I'm doing it for another person that's another investor that flips houses. His deal fell through with the other lender, and he was like, hey, can you look at this? And I'm like, yeah, I saw where they made the mistake, but this is not even an issue. This is easy. But working with the right team, people that can verify, like something that I do is people are, I have 3 offers. Like, can you help me verify which DU is better, which, you know, because these things happen. The worst thing, honestly, is not a deal that couldn't go through. If a deal, the people want to buy and they have interest, there's a way to figure out. There's different programs that we could, hey, you can't buy with this program, but I have a program you can buy, right? But the worst thing that I saw, I think there's a pattern last year, was, hey, we got separated. We no longer want to buy the property.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And they were like, well, I'm like, but you have $15K in deposit. Nah, we don't care. Like, we're done. And I'm like, but we want to complete the deal. We don't. No. The wife's like, I don't care. Keep the money. And the husband's like, no. What do you mean? I need the money. And now you're like everywhere. And then you're tied up with that. So, guys, I want to try to scare you into saying don't invest or don't get into it. We're just trying to tell you, look, man.
Imagine the realtor on that end. The realtor that had that locked up, they were already, counting the 3%.
Yeah, they already spent the money.
Yeah, exactly, because that does happen.
But it's just a fun business to be in, and it's exciting. Don't think it's passive income. I think a lot of people are getting into thinking there's a passive income to it, and there isn't, man. I've done this with partners. I've done this by myself, and I think it's always, I just give you the money. I'm like, look, I don't need the money. You know what I need? I need a true partner. I need a person that wants to invest with me, but I want you to kind of say, hey, look, you have to go to Homestead from North Miami and deal with this person because I can't do it right now. You know, so I think more than anything is it takes effort to make a good deal happen. Now, going back to where I said where I bought a deal. So I've done this a couple of times just for, sometimes I sell a property, I make a lot of money. I need to buy another property in order to offset the fact that I made that profit, tie it into something else. And I'll buy a property just to break even, right? For tax reasons. It's always resulted me in a profit. Like, it's always made me really good money on top of the fact that I saved taxes that year because the money was basically a wash. So definitely get into it. Definitely reach out to us. Definitely get some more information. Get some more details about what you need to do and deal with people. Like, you have to build a team. You said you have your attorney. You know lenders. You know private lenders. You know all sorts of people that you don't know how or in what way they're going to come into solve your problem one time, you know?
That's the key. You cannot do this by yourself.
Yeah.
No way.
Just take action and understand that you're not going to have all the answers right away. Perfection is the enemy of progress. And that in entrepreneurship, so then you really have to understand that you're not going to know all the answers right away. Get ready to be rejected. Get ready to have to reach out, but it's what you got to do.
I'll finish with this, though. I can tell you from a lot of people that they were rookie investors. The difference between rookie investors in the last 3 years, I mentioned the last 3 years are important, and the people that have been seasoned is, oh man, I could have made so much more money off that deal. Oh man, I could have made so much money off that deal. I could just kept that one an extra year. Versus the seasoned investors, they don't look at it like that. They're like, look, this is a deal. We done it. We moved on. And where's the next one? Where's the next one? Where's the next one?
Yep.
You know, I think that's the thing. When you're in this business, don't think quick money. Don't think easy money. Think it's another career. Take it serious and learn as much as you can. Like if you want to own a restaurant, learn what it takes to manage it. You want to own this type of business, you got to know a little bit of permits, a little bit of construction, a little bit of whatever, you know?
Oh, that's what it is. It's who you surround yourself with. Don't try to do this by yourself. This is not easy. There's a lot of challenges, but it is rewarding.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I guess we ended up repeating that. Don't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't do it by yourself.